Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the steel wheel Modus. Let's jump right into some specifications. We're looking at 7.6 inches in overall length with a 3¼ inch blade length. The blade thickness is going to come in at 0.11 inch. It is D2 steel, as seen here. And it is a sheep's foot style blade with a flat grind and a satin finish. We also have FRN handle material there with stainless steel liners, and it is a liner lock as seen there. And this does flip on phosphor bronze washers, as you can see there. It is situated for right or left hand tip up carry. All right, let's get a weight with our AccuWeight scale here and see what we got going on. And we're looking at 3.4 ounces. So it comes in at 3.4 ounces, a good weight for a 3¼ inch bladed knife, if you ask me. Of course, with this FRN and everything, that helps reduce the weight when you got FRN. Let's do some size comparisons. Here it is against the Benchmade large griptilian, and you can see the large griptilian is going to be just a little bit larger than the Modus, a little bit longer in terms of overall length. Here it is against the Kershaw Leak, and the Modus is going to be slightly longer than the Leak on this one, as you can see there. And let's see here, let's compare it, how about against the Spyderco PM2? Let's compare it there. And the PM2, again, gonna be larger than the Modus. All right. And for fun, let's do it against the K-Bar Dozier, how about? Now those are pretty similar in style. It's also going to be pretty similar in feel because again, you got plastic handles on both. They call this one Zytel, they call this one FRN. It's all plastic to me. And so they're going to have a similar feel as well. And they're pretty close in size with the Modus being just a skosh longer. All right, and let's get into some of the pros and cons. The first pro, I believe, is going to be the D2 steel. I like that a lot of these Chinese companies like Steel Wheel, Real Steel, Artisan, companies like that, they're using D2 and 14C28N steel as their base model steel. And I think that's great because I think that's a definite step up from OS8 or 8CR 13 MOV. I think those two steels are better than either one of those steels. And so for when you have a base model that is coming in with D2 or 14C28N, that's a good thing in my opinion because those are two good budget steels that that you can maintain, will take an edge, hold an edge very well. I like it. D2 is a lot of the problems that people have with D2 is that it's not entirely stainless. It's about as close to stainless as you can get without actually being stainless. But I've never had a problem with D2. You know, you spray a little oil on there, a little EDCI or your protectant of choice on there, and it's fine. Never had a problem with it. I like the fact that it is slicey. This is a slicey knife. It's only 0.11 behind the edge there, the blade stock. It came sharp out of box. It has a nice flat grind and it slices well as a knife should. The number one thing a knife should do is cut. But sometimes companies get that wrong. But this is not one of them. This knife cuts, it is slicey. I like the handle texture. I like that it's functional. You know, it's not too sharp, but it is functional. It does definitely add traction rather than just a slab of FR in there. When you add this texturing in, that's nice. It's functional. It doesn't look the best in my opinion, but it's functional, so I can live with it. I like the fact that it has milled liners. the stainless steel liners are milled. And that's always nice, helps with weight. And I'm not someone who, it may seem like it from my videos, but I'm really not someone who harps on weight too much. I'm not someone who thinks that you have to save every ounce that you possibly can. It's nice when a company does that, when they have steel liners to keep, and they mill them out to keep the weight down. But you know, weight's not the number one thing that I think about, but it's nice. It's nice when companies do that to save some weight. You could be like the Man X2 and not have steel liners at all, and that would have been fine with me too. You'd have to have a different locking system, but that would have been all right with me too. But if you're going to have them, it's okay to mill them out. I like that. I like that the lock access is good. It's easy. It's easy to access that lock. It's got good jimping on the lock there. My fat thumb gets in there easily. It's easy to disengage. Absolutely zero lock stick. And so that's really nice, that access there. The ergonomics and fit and finish are good. Every steel wheel knife that I've had so far has had good finishing, and this one has good ergos too. I wear extra large gloves, and so you can see my hand here in the hammer grip and the saber grip, and hey, how about even a reverse grip for my tactical knife fighters out there. You could also use this for like a pull cut or something too, but anyway. It feels good in every grip, no hot spots, fit and finish, no sharp edges anywhere on the handles or anything like that. So the fit and finish is good. The ergos are good. I like the color. The color is nice. I like that you have this little pop of color here in the orange. They also have one that comes with black FRN and a red backspacer. So again, another pop of color. I like the pops of color a lot, you know, because it's not too much. I like color. I like orange, if you couldn't tell, especially if you couldn't tell by my PM2. I like orange. And so I really like this pop of orange because I think this is not going to be too much for people. The other two that I said, this may be too much for people. This is probably not going to be. It's just a nice little pop of color there. Something to offset the blue. I think blue and orange go well together. I think they make good color choices because I think red and black go really well together too. And blue and orange go well together. And so I like that they're offering some different color options with because they could have just made this the same stainless color as the blade and clip here, but you know, they decided to do something a little different and add a little pop of color, and I appreciate that. I like that. My favorite feature about this knife is the integrated lanyard hole into the backspacer. Now you say, Huck, you're not someone, I've never seen a lanyard on one of your knives besides the Sabenza, and you would be right. I am not a lanyard guy, and that is why I love this lanyard hole positioning. I love it when they can integrate it into the backspacer. I know that a lot of the real steel knives do this as well. Anytime that you can integrate the lanyard hole into the backspacer, it is a good thing in my opinion because you are not sacrificing clip positioning for lanyard hole positioning. See, this to me is the absolute best of both worlds. If you're someone who likes to run a lanyard, you have a good place to put it right there, but you did not sacrifice clip positioning whatsoever, because had the lanyard hole been, drilled into the handle itself here, it probably would have been right up there, and then the clip would have been under it or something to that effect. And then we'd be sacrificing clip positioning for lanyard hole positioning, and the clip would be down here, and you'd have a lot more of the knife sticking out there. And so I really like this. To me is the absolute best way to do a lanyard hole, because if you want it, it's there. If you don't, it's just kind of part of the knife, and it just kind of flows and it's out of the way, and you didn't sacrifice clip positioning. So I love it when companies integrate it into the backspacer there. The Sabenza that I have, it's also kind of an integrated lanyard that's out of the way. The Real Steel Terra that I have it's also integrated and out of the way. This to me is the best way to do a lanyard hole. So I really like that. There are a few drawbacks in my opinion on this knife, with one of them being the jimping. It's there and it's functional, but I wish it were a little bit sharper. I mean, that's kind of a nitpick, but I wish it were a little bit sharper where I could dig in a little bit better. You know, it's real squared off here. I just wish that jimping were sharper. I mean, it's fine, it works, but I just wish it were a little bit better. The second thing there is, that's a pretty big flipper tab. And I'm not someone who really worries about the pocket pecker, as Nick Shabazz would put it. Flipper tabs generally do not bother me, but I noticed it on this one. And so that to me tells me the fact that I even notice it when I'm not someone who really takes inventory of that, the fact that it stuck out to me means it's probably going to stick out to a lot more people. Because, I mean, you look at it, it's not only prominent in terms of the way that it sticks out, it's also kind of thick. I mean, because when we look at this, let's look at this large honey badger here. I mean, you can just see the difference in a flipper tab. This is a really good flipper tab on the honey badger, in my opinion. I mean, you can see there, this flipper tab can fit into the Modus's flipper tab there. So it's thick, it sticks out quite a bit, and I just noticed it, and I mean, I think you could have done a little bit better on the flipper tab there. And kind of the last little nitpick is the back spacer there is a little bit sharp. Not that I really feel it in hand. It's not like it's cutting me or digging in or anything, but just when you kind of rub your hand over it. So if I'm going to kind of grip the knife and I'm getting my hand into position and I kind of slide up on it a little bit, I feel it. If I run my finger over it here, I feel it. And so it's a little bit sharp. I wish they would have taken this and put that there, the sharpness of the backspacer here, and flip-flopped them, and then that would have been perfect. But instead, they kind of went backwards. They got this a little bit too sharp and this not quite sharp enough, and it should be reversed the other way. But, I mean, like I said, it's not a huge deal. When I'm holding the knife and I'm using the knife, it doesn't particularly bother me, but it's just something that I noticed when I'm kind of sliding my hand over it there, is that I can definitely feel that. And it's a little bit sharper than I think it should be. That should have been rounded off a little bit better, in my humble opinion. But there we go, guys. That is your review of the steel wheel Modus from me. Overall, good knife. It's it comes in at $50.99. Why they didn't go with $49.99, I don't know. But anyway, to get it under the $50 mark. But anyway, $50.99 for this knife. And for that price, this is a good knife that will serve you well. That will, you're getting a good budget steel, good ergonomics, a real decent knife for the $51 mark. So if you like it, you like the design, you like the blade shape, go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you so very much for watching. Please remember to like if you liked, disliked if you didn't, comment down below, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. I have a lot more coming your way, knives and otherwise. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.